The Void Hunters. In the vast expanse of the cosmos, gargantuan beasts prowl the starry seas. These void behemoths, colossal in size and ravenous in appetite, pose a constant threat to the brave souls who traverse the interstellar reaches. Amongst these daring few are the Void Hunters, intrepid men and women who risk their lives to protect humanity's cosmic colonies and trade routes. Captain Jenna Starks, a seasoned Void Hunter, stood on the bridge of her ship, the Nebula's Edge. Her steely gaze surveyed the holographic star charts, tracking the latest reports of void beast activity. Jenna's crew, a motley assortment of rough and tumble spacers, bustled about their stations, readying the ship for the hunt ahead. "Captain, we've got a high-priority contract coming in from Axiom Colony," called out Levy, the ship's scruffy communications officer. "They're offering triple our usual rate to take down a Category 9 beast that's been wreaking havoc on their mining operations." Jenna's eyes narrowed as she studied the contract details. Category 9 void beasts were among the largest and most dangerous game in the cosmos, easily dwarfing the Nebula's Edge in size. But the payoff was too good to pass up, and Jenna knew her crew was up for the challenge. "Plot a course for the Axiom system," Jenna ordered, a predatory grin spreading across her face. "It's time to bag us a big one." As the Nebula's Edge leaped into the swirling vortex of hyperspace, Jenna couldn't shake the feeling that this hunt would be unlike any other. Little did she know, the void beast they pursued was far more than a mindless cosmic predator. In the depths of space, an ancient intelligence stirred, and the Void Hunters were about to become the hunted. The story continues in Part 2. The hunt begins. Jenna and her crew track the void beast's gravity wake through treacherous space, unaware of the creature's true nature and the dangers that await them. The Nebula's Edge navigates a perilous asteroid field as they close in on their quarry, but the void beast's behavior grows increasingly erratic and aggressive, hinting at a sinister intelligence lurking behind its monstrous facade. Let me know when you would like me to write Part 2 of the story. The hunt begins. The Nebula's Edge dropped out of hyperspace on the fringes of the Axiom system, its sensors already probing the void for signs of the beast. Jenna stood hunched over the navigation console, her brow furrowed in concentration as she studied the readouts. "I've got a gravity wake," called out Michael, the ship's burly sensor operator. "Something massive passed through here recently, and it's left a trail we can follow." Jenna nodded, a flicker of anticipation dancing in her eyes. "Good work, Michael. Levy, get me a comms link with Axiom Colony. Let's let them know we're on the job." As Levi hailed the colony, Jenna turned to her helmsman, a lithe woman named Rye. "Take us in, Rye. Follow that gravity wake. Let's see where our beast is headed." The Nebula's Edge surged forward, its powerful engines humming as it chased the invisible trail left by the void beast. The crew worked in tense silence, their eyes glued to their instruments, searching for any sign of their quarry. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. "Captain, I've got a massive object on the scanners," Michael shouted, his voice tight with tension. It's the size of a small moon, and it's moving fast." Jenna's eyes widened as she saw the telemetry data. The void beast was far larger than anything she'd hunted before, and it was heading straight for a dense asteroid field. "Rye, take us in closer. We need to get a visual on this thing." As the Nebula's Edge approached the asteroid field, the crew caught their first glimpse of the void beast. It was a monstrous creature, its body a writhing mass of tentacles and glistening, obsidian scales. Its maw, large enough to swallow a frigate whole, pulsed with an eerie bioluminescent light. But something was wrong. The beast's movements were erratic, almost frenzied. It slammed through asteroids with reckless abandon, as if it were fleeing from some unseen threat. "Captain, I don't like this," Michael muttered, his face pale. "This thing isn't acting like any void beast I've ever seen. It's almost like it's intelligent." Jenna's gut twisted with unease, but she pushed the feeling aside. They had a job to do, and she wasn't about to let some overgrown space squid get the best of her. "Keep on it, Rye. We're not letting this thing out of our sight." As the nebula's edge wove through the asteroid field, hot on the void beast's tail, Jenna couldn't shake the feeling that they were being lured into a trap. The hunt had begun, but the hunters were about to become the hunted. The story takes a thrilling turn in Part 3, Jaws of the Beast. The void beast springs its trap, ambushing the nebula's edge and engaging the ship in a desperate battle for survival. Jenna and her crew must use every trick in their arsenal to break free from the creature's grasp, but not before suffering heavy damage to their vessel. The truth about the beast's intelligence begins to unravel, setting the stage for a climactic confrontation. Jaws of the Beast. The void beast's trap sprung with terrifying swiftness. One moment, the nebula's edge was navigating the treacherous asteroid field. The next, the behemoth was upon them, its maw gaping wide as it engulfed the ship in a tangle of writhing tentacles. The ship shuddered violently as the beast's coils tightened around its hull, the metal groaning under the immense pressure. Alarms blared, and the crew was thrown from their seats as the deck pitched beneath their feet. "Hull breach in sections 3 and 5. Levy shouted over the cacophony, his fingers flying across his console as he tried to reroute power to the failing systems. Jenna gritted her teeth, her mind racing as she sought a way out of the beast's clutches. "Rye, full power to the thrusters. We need to break free." The helmsman complied, pouring every ounce of power into the ship's engines, but the beast's grip held fast. The creature's maw loomed before them, a cavernous abyss ringed with jagged crystalline teeth. "Captain, the weapons are offline," Michael called out, desperation etched into his face. "We're sitting ducks." Jenna's gaze darted across the bridge, searching for a solution. Suddenly, her eyes fell upon the ship's gravity well generator, a desperate plan forming in her mind. "Levy, divert all power to the gravity well generator," she commanded, her voice cutting through the chaos. "We're going to give this beast a taste of its own medicine." The comms officer hesitated for only a moment before complying, his fingers a blur as he rerouted the ship's systems. The nebula's edge shuddered as the gravity well generator came to life, the artificial singularity at its core pulsing with an eerie purple light. Jenna watched the redouts, her heart pounding in her chest as the singularity grew in strength. "Now, Rye, full reverse thrust." The ship's engines roared to life, straining against the beast's grip as the gravity well generator reached critical mass. For a moment, the nebula's edge hung suspended, the fabric of space-time warping around it as the artificial singularity clashed with the beast's immense mass. Then, with a blinding flash and a bone-jarring lurch, the ship broke free, the void beast's tentacles sheared off by the gravitational anomaly. The creature reeled back, its maw snapping shut in frustration as the nebula's edge rocketed away, trailing smoke and debris. The bridge was silent save for the hiss of venting atmosphere and the crackle of sparking consoles. Jenna slumped back in her chair, her face ashen as she surveyed the damage. "Damage report," she croaked, her throat raw from shouting. Levy shook his head, his expression grim. "It's bad, Captain. We've got hull breaches on multiple decks, and the engines are barely holding together. We need to find somewhere to make repairs, and fast." Jenna nodded, her mind already racing ahead. They had escaped the beast's jaws, but at a heavy cost, and with the revelation of the creature's intelligence, she knew that this hunt was far from over. As the wounded nebula's edge limped through the void, the crew couldn't shake the feeling that they had just brushed against the edges of a deeper, more terrifying mystery. The secrets of the cosmos beckoned, and humanity's fate hung in the balance. The story continues in Part 4, Mayday in the Void. With their ship crippled and supplies dwindling, Jenna and her crew take shelter in an ancient alien megastructure, where they uncover clues to the void beast's true nature and the forgotten history of a long-dead civilization. As they race to repair the nebula's edge, the specter of the void beast looms ever closer, drawing them into a final, climactic confrontation. Mayday in the void. The nebula's edge drifted through the void, a wounded beast bleeding trails of oxygen and debris. Jenna stood on the bridge, her face illuminated by the dim, pulsing light of the emergency systems. The ship's once pristine corridors were now a maze of twisted metal and flickering shadows, the air thick with the acrid scent of burnt circuitry. "Captain, we're losing power fast," Michael reported, his voice strained with exhaustion. "We need to find a place to set down and make repairs, or we're not going to last much longer." Jenna nodded, her eyes scanning the star charts with a weary intensity. Suddenly, her gaze fell upon a curious anomaly, a faint gravitational disturbance that seemed to beckon from the depths of space. "There," she said, pointing to the holographic display. "That's our best shot." As the nebula's edge limped towards the anomaly, the crew huddled around the viewports, their eyes wide with wonder and trepidation. Before them, an immense structure loomed out of the darkness, its alien architecture twisting and curving in ways that defied human comprehension. "What the hell is that?" Levy breathed, his face bathed in the eerie, blue-green light emanating from the structure's surface. Jenna shook her head, a sense of awe and unease warring within her. "I don't know, but it's our only chance. Rye, take us in." The ship docked within the cavernous hangar bay, and the crew disembarked, their weapons at the ready as they ventured into the alien labyrinth. The air was stale and musty, the only sound the echo of their footsteps and the distant hum of ancient machinery. As they delved deeper into the structure, they discovered the remnants of a long-dead civilization, their technology far beyond anything humanity had ever encountered. Holographic displays flickered to life as they passed, depicting scenes of titanic battles between the aliens and the void beasts. "My God," Jenna whispered, her eyes transfixed by the images. They were hunting the beasts, just like us. But there was something else, a chilling revelation that sent a shiver down Jenna's spine. The void beasts, it seemed, were not the mindless predators they had once believed. They possessed a malevolent intelligence, a sinister purpose that had driven the aliens to the brink of extinction. As the crew raced to repair the nebula's edge, the weight of their discovery hung heavy upon them. They were no longer mere hunters, but the unwitting pawns in a cosmic game that had been playing out for millennia. And deep in the void, the beast they had escaped stirred once more, its ancient intellect fixated upon the small, fragile ship that had dared to challenge its dominion. The final confrontation was at hand, and the fate of humanity hung in the balance. The tension builds in Part 5. Becoming the Hunters. Armed with the knowledge gleaned from the alien megastructure, Jenna and her crew devise a daring plan to turn the tables on the void beast. As they lure the creature into a trap of their own making, the lines between hunter and hunted blur, and the true nature of the cosmos begins to unravel. The stage is set for a climactic battle that will decide the future of humanity's place among the stars. Becoming the Hunters. In the cavernous depths of the alien megastructure, Jenna and her crew worked feverishly to repair the nebula's edge, their minds racing with the implications of their newfound knowledge. The void beasts were not mere animals, but ancient, malevolent entities that had haunted the cosmos for eons. "We can't just run," Jenna said, her voice echoing through the hangar bay. "If we don't stop this thing now, it'll just keep coming, and there's no telling how many more lives will be lost." The crew exchanged uneasy glances, the weight of their captain's words settling upon them like a leaden shroud. They had all signed up for the thrill of the hunt, but this was something far beyond their wildest imaginings. "What do you propose we do?" Michael asked, his brow furrowed with concern. "We're outmatched and outgunned. That beast will tear us apart if we face it head-on." A slow smile spread across Jenna's face, a glimmer of determination sparking in her eyes. "We don't face it head-on," she said, her voice low and steady. "We use its own tactics against it. We become the hunters." With renewed purpose, the crew set to work, their minds and bodies fueled by a desperate, unyielding resolve. They studied the alien technology, adapting it to their own devices, forging weapons and defenses that would give them a fighting chance against the Void Beast. As the final preparations were made, Jenna stood before her crew, her face illuminated by the eerie, pulsing light of the alien machinery. "We've come too far to turn back now," she said, her voice ringing with quiet conviction. "We are the last line of defense between this beast and the countless lives it threatens. We will not fail." The nebula's edge burst from the megastructure, its hull gleaming with the alien modifications, a sleek, deadly predator reborn. They rode the gravity currents, seeking out the telltale signs of the Void Beast's presence, their hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and exhilaration. And then they found it. The beast loomed before them, its maw gaping wide, its tentacles coiling and uncoiling in a mesmerizing dance of death. But this time, the nebula's edge was ready. Jenna's finger hovered over the trigger, her breath caught in her throat as she waited for the perfect moment. The beast surged forward, its crystalline teeth glinting in the starlight, and Jenna fired. The alien weapon pulsed with an eerie violet light, and the Void Beast shuddered, its tentacles going slack, as the energy beam sliced through its hide like a hot knife through butter. The creature's maw snapped shut, and it reeled back, wounded but not dead. "Again," Jenna shouted, her voice raw with adrenaline. "Don't let up." The crew fired in unison, their weapons casting a kaleidoscope of light across the void as they poured everything they had into the beast. The creature thrashed and writhed, its movements growing sluggish as the barrage took its toll. And then, with a final, deafening roar, the Void Beast shuddered and went still, its massive body drifting lifelessly through the void. The crew of the nebula's edge watched in stunned silence, their hearts pounding with the realization of what they had just accomplished. They had become the hunters, and they had emerged victorious. But even as they celebrated their triumph, Jenna couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. There were more Void Beasts out there, and humanity's place among the stars was far from secure. The story reaches its thrilling conclusion in Part 6, Secrets of the Stars. In the aftermath of their victory, Jenna and her crew grapple with the implications of their discovery and the realization that they have only scratched the surface of the cosmic mysteries that await them. As they set their sights on new horizons, the stage is set for a grand adventure that will reshape humanity's understanding of its place in the universe.